Hi there, my name is Steve Gearhart and this is the Unagi Observer. Thank you so much for coming by and watching today's video. Today's video is early simply because of the big news this morning that came out this morning, which is that Otakon has been canceled. Yeah, that sucks. Okay, sorry for the white wall. I've got a lot of stuff going on. Not only am I working from home, but I've got some furniture kind of things happening going on right now, so the place is kind of a mess. But anyway, instead of doing a review, which I was going to upload tomorrow, or do an upload tomorrow, which was on Netflix's Ghost in the Shell, the new series. You can tell by my face I've got mixed emotions about that one, but I really want to talk about Otakon today and just throw it out there. On this channel originally for this year, I was going to go to a lot more conventions than I have in the past, different kinds of conventions, and talk about conventions, have a little series about the behind the scenes, how they're created and how they're worked, and just to give congoers an idea of how difficult it can be and how much work is put into it. Obviously COVID-19 put the kibosh on all that, so I wasn't going to do the series, but I'm going to touch on it a little bit today, because what's happening with Otakon is very similar to what I'm having to deal with in my theater. There are decisions that we have to make, there's things that we have to do to protect our patrons, to protect ourselves, and it's very similar to what Otakon is going through right now. Just to back up a little bit, back in March when all this nonsense really started to hit the fan, I gave Otakon a 50% chance of closing. Then I think not even 2 weeks ago, I think it was Comic-Con that canceled, and that was a big deal to me, so I jumped it from 50% to 80% likely that Otakon was going to cancel. And the reason why is because, and this is going to sound silly, is that nobody, when it comes to conventions, when it comes to plays, concerts and things like that, the people who hold these things don't want to be the first ones to close down, and they don't want to be the jerks who are the last ones to close down. They want to be in that sweet spot of, okay, we're following the good idea and closing down, and so they don't look like a wimp or an idiot. Literally, that's what it is. So when Comic-Con decided to cancel their event, they're the ones who blinked first, so to speak, and that is leading to other major conventions nationwide to probably make the decision to cancel this summer, depending upon when their convention is supposed to happen. Otakon is supposed to happen in July. So their board probably put together a quick meeting, devised a way to what they were going to do if they had to cancel. So they probably have had a plan in effect. They probably had a plan about this, start planning about this back in end of February or beginning of March. When Comic-Con said no, they're not doing it, they probably met and hashed out the details, and then were waiting to pull the trigger to see what would happen next. The thing that happened next was on April 17th, when the Washington D.C. decided to use the center, the convention center, as additional space so that the local hospitals won't get overwhelmed. We've already been doing that here in Baltimore at the BCC, the old home of Otakon. So that's not an unusual thing for big cities to do, to have a convention center, is to use a convention center in that capacity. What that means is that even if the restrictions are lifted, they're not going to have enough time to clean properly. And when you're talking about medical things, you really want the place to be cleaned. We're not talking just sweep and mop. We're talking hardcore sanitizing. There just isn't going to be enough time for them to clean it for Otakon. That's even assuming that the restrictions are going to be lifted by then. If the restrictions haven't even been lifted by then there's really no point anyway. So what am I trying to say here is that Otakon did the right thing in canceling their event. There's just no way around it. They held off as long as they possibly could, and they had clearly, to me, because I'm having to do the same thing, they had a plan in place, just like my theater did, to move forward when you start having to cancel stuff. I've already canceled 2 shows, and I'm looking at the last show of the season, and I'm not sure if that's getting canceled or not. Probably will be, but you didn't hear that from me. So there are things that we have to plan for and things that we have to do for you to protect you and to protect us financially. So what is Otakon doing? Otakon, very simply, is offering you refunds. So if you had a table in the artist alley, if you had a table in the dealer's room, if you're just a regular con goer, if you're in those 3 categories and you want a refund, you can go right to otakon.com. The links are right there. They're prominent. You don't have to look for them. And it looks like it's really easy to do. You just need to know your ID number, and they can show you how to get that if you don't know what that is. And it looks pretty straightforward. So if you want the refunds, you'll get them if you fall in those 3 categories. If you got a hotel through Otakon, through their portal, they're going to be able to help you to get some of that money back. I don't know if they can get all of it back for you from your hotel, but I think they can get a large chunk of it back for you. Needless to say, you'll get something from that. Unfortunately, if you got a hotel or reservation somewhere else out not using Otakon, you did it on your own, you're going to have to go to those people by yourself and try to negotiate a credit or a refund the best you can, unfortunately. But like I said, it looks like it's pretty straightforward on the website on how to get this done. But you have until May 31st to decide if you want the refund, or you can go next year. If you've already paid your entrance, your badge, for your badge to come to 2020, you can choose to come in 2021. They'll just take the money and put it into 2021. Very simple. So you'll have the ability to do that if you want to. If you know that you can go on August 6th, 7th, and 8th, double check me on those dates, but I'm pretty sure that's what they are. If you know that you can go, you're pretty sure, you can just let that money ride, and you don't even have to worry about that stuff for 2021. You're all set. Same thing with the artist alley. Same thing with the dealer tables, with the vendors room. So you have that option as well. Now, one of the things that I have to do and Otakon has to do is that they have to deal with certain things, certain financial hardships because of COVID-19. And that is that there are still going to be deposits that Otakon has to pay. There are still going to be kill fees that they're going to have to pay. A kill fee is basically when you bring in talent and you pay at least their per diem and sometimes a percentage of what you were supposed to pay them on top of the per diem, so they get some type of payment out of it. It's called a kill fee. It's not unusual. It's actually very common. I do that for theater as well. So they're going to have to pay for those things. There's certain things that they have to pay for. They'll probably get a break through the convention center. I am sure there is a clause in the contract that talks about something like this, where where the convention center is at fault for not allowing the person who's renting it to be able to come in. So I'm sure there is some good, nice little loophole for Otakon when it comes to that. But there are still things that Otakon still has to pay for. There are still things that Otakon, because they're part of a multi-year contract. So I don't know the nuts and bolts of their contract, and I have a feeling that they lose this year, meaning that, however long their contract is, they don't get to add another year at the end of the contract because they don't get to do it this year. I think they lose this year, and that kind of sucks. So that's a lot of opportunities missed and wasted. Steve Blum was going to be there. There's some voice actors, really good voice actors, that were going to come this year, and not sure if they're going to be able to come next year. So you can, like I said, they have these financial hardships. So they're going to have enough money to cover their costs from the people who have the registration, who did the registration now, probably some of the grant money that they applied for, because Otakon is a nonprofit. Actually, the Otakon is a nonprofit, and that's kind of how it works. I am sure that they have some rainy day fund that can help out as well. But Otakon's a big convention, and there's a lot of money involved. Why am I saying this to you? The reason why I'm saying this to you is that if you can not ask for the refund and let them take the money and put it into 2021, that is less money they have to worry about for next year, so that they can use what they have now to pay for now, and hopefully have a little bit left over and have enough going into 2021 that they can maintain the level and quality of the convention. So if you have the ability to know that you're going to be able to go next year, like it's a done deal, don't ask for the refund. Obviously, if you need that money back, obviously if you don't know if you can go, obviously if you know that you can't go, take the money back. Ask for the refund, definitely. But if you think you can, do it. It helps Otakon, and it'll eventually help you as a con goer when you go to Otakon 2021 and you're able to enjoy it. That money is important. Unfortunately, money still drives things, like Otakon. So, in a nutshell, what am I saying is Otakon's doing all the right things right now. They're not screwing you over. They're doing their best to protect you and to give you opportunities and choices. Most importantly, they're giving you choices. So if you can, I know I'm kind of harping on this, if you think you can go next year, let them have the money. Now be warned, once May 31st goes away and you go into June 1st, if you have not submitted a request for a refund, you will not get a refund for anything. Okay? It's a done deal. You have until the 31st to get the refund, to get your money back. But if you decide that, oh yeah, I'm going to go next year, and then in July 1st or mid-July, you decide, nah, I'm not going to go, I want my money back, you're not getting your money back. The old rules apply. So be sure that's what you want to do. But if you do, I am encouraging you to let Otakon hold on to the money for next year. Okay, that's it for that. So enough of that rant. I know it's a little bit early. It's kind of not something I was expecting to talk about, but there it is. It's a big deal because Otakon has a special place in my heart. So anyway, if you like this video, hit the like button. If you want to subscribe, and I hope you do, because if you do, that gets us closer to 250 subscribers and free digital sushi for you. And who doesn't love free digital sushi? Anyway, please subscribe. It would make me very happy. And you guys are awesome. I love you. Please be safe, be healthy, and I'll see you next time.